Hello there again. Just following on from that last video, this missing article, I think I might be thinking of a phantom article, or I've put certain things together. I said before, I'm not making it up, I'm not lying, and I maintain that. I think I know what's happened. But it's turned out something a really good reminder in the article that in the comments below the last video, that ACL Moss Samantha brought up from the Telegraph, Sarah Napton article and we found it, and I've linked it in the description there, making it very explicit that the second 25 cases that Evans has sent to the police, which have to this point in time been NFA'd, no further action thus far. That chimes in with what Dr. Phil Hammond says and said on Twitter about these 25 supplementary cases that he was shocked about and concerned about, that nothing's happened with them. They've gone nowhere. How can that happen? And he's done it post the convictions. So that was really useful to see that again. I know I've read that article before, but it's just remembering all this, isn't it? With this idea of the other article, I think I know what's happened. It is, and that's why I said originally to Professor Gill this morning, it's in the New Yorker. But it's not just the New Yorker. It's the New Yorker in conjunction with the judgment, point 22 of the judgment, the Crown versus Lucy Letby, in the judgment, point 22, in which it says clearly that Evans was sent after you were sent the initial batch of 33. It says 33 cases in that. So as I said, there's this number that's free-flowing, 31, 32, 33. 33 cases, it says in the judgment. That's the initial batch he was sent in 2017. In that same paragraph, he said he was then sent a further 28 cases. That's the second batch. That's the second batch from which, as stated in the New Yorker article, he chooses the 25 that Rachel Aviv talks about. She terms it as being after the first arrest. So after the first arrest means after the first arrest, but before the second arrest. So at the very outside, it's before the second arrest in 2019, but it could well be in the latter half of 2018, couldn't it? It doesn't state the month in the judgment, and in the New Yorker article doesn't state the month. But what it certainly is not is a set of 25 further supplementary cases from 28, as the judgment states. It's not post-conviction. It's not in 2023, September 2023, which is what the article that Samantha helped us find or found, and I've linked it in the description of the last video. And so it's the mixture, it's the combination. The article I've been looking for is the New Yorker article. It doesn't specifically say 2018 there. That's by fair inference. Fair inference meaning after the first arrest, but clearly before the second arrest. Join that up. So sorry, I misremembered and thinking it was a separate article, but what I've done is I made the connection between the judgment and what was being more than implied. It was being stated in the New Yorker article that he's chosen 25 cases that have been NFA'd, no further action from that time to this, from 2018, or possibly the early months of 2019, but before the second arrest until this date. So we have got two lots of 25, which I'd always thought was bizarre. I keep saying Professor, I can't remember. Dr. Phil Hammond was shocked and There's a certain amount of consternation when he was talking about this on Twitter, about, this is strange, these 25 cases. Does he know? Is he aware? And this is the point why I wanted to make this video and try to answer Professor Gill's question, is that, does he now know then that there were two sets of 25? How much more extraordinary is that we have 50 cases, separate cases, 50. And the article that at ACL Moss, Samantha, who helped us find the or re-find the article from Sarah Napton in the Telegraph, states very helpfully that he was given 82 in total. So you've got this 82 figure. So you've got two lots of 25, that's 50. Then you've got 32 left over, which is nearly the 33, just one out. Nearly the 33 as quoted in the judgment. But this, as I said, the initial batch of notes was always quoted as, or often quoted as 32. And then sometimes quoted as around 30. I'm talking about in interviews in 2020, tail end of 2023, and in the autumn of 2023. Oh, God. So, yeah, have I made up the idea that this linking is in an article written by somebody else? It's not that I've made it up willingly, but I'd forgotten that it was me that made the connection between what it says in the judgment and brought it together with what it says in the Rachel Aviv New Yorker article, where it says he's found these other 25 cases after the first arrest. So there you have the time period, and then you have so he's found 25, and there in the judgment says very clearly, point 22, he's made that selection from 28 cases that were sent to him as a second batch. So all in the same paragraph. 33. Let's get sent 33. So, we're getting this floating figure of 32 or 33. Get sent them. Then is sent 28. So that's the rationale. That's the accuracy here that I was wanting to try to achieve, and trying to find out when it is and whether there are two lots of 25 or not. And it looks like there are. There's certainly claim to be. And that's where we leave it, really, at the moment. So we have 50 cases that he's flagged up, supplementary to the ones that end up on the indictment, and every one of them, thus far, NFA'd, no further action, and never will have any further action, I suspect, never will reach a charge. And within that, therein are huge ramifications. The idea that you could bring up 50 matters of concern and none of them can be acted upon. And yet it's projected to the world and to the jury via the prosecution that this bloke is infallible. And yet he's come up with 50 other things that the police can't do anything with, or won't do anything with. Can't or won't. And if a lot of them are about that Evans has seen, whatever that means, himself, because he's a special kind of individual, has seen or suspects deliberate harm when Lucy's not on duty, then that reveals the architecture of the corruption of the police, because they should have been saying to each other and themselves and Evans, you keep coming up with examples of harm here where she's not on duty. How can we trust you for the times where you're coming up with these examples of what you say is deliberate harm when she is on duty? And if Lucy Letby was on duty for a significant number of these 50 extra examples that Evans has sent to the police in two stages, one in 2018, one in 2023, and Lucy is on duty for them, why have they all been NFA'd? Why have they not been acted upon? Why have they not reached any charges? Why have they not brought anything with them? Then then the matter is about his reliability, because he can make these, he pass across these suspicions that go nowhere, which should then make the police think about Evans as someone that gets it cast iron right 100% in 15 cases, and in 50 other ones that he flags up, there's nothing you can do with them. Wouldn't that give them pause and think, this guy's a nutter? But no, because they're happy for him to do that. He's just throwing everything he can at them, and the police are happily taking everything. Just throwing and just seeing what sticks, what they can make stick, what the police can make stick, in collusion with Evans and the consultants. And it doesn't matter whether 50 get dropped. And this is what I've been on about right from last August. The manufacture of this, the construction of the con and the framing, the finesse of it. The finesse of this is revealed by actions like this, how you can drop 50 flagged up events, 50 flagged up projections of the idea that somebody's harming somebody, a baby there, and just drop them. Nothing happens with them. But you just go with the 15 that work for you, because they worked for the consultants, because they'd already prepared them all. These are very strong hints, and more than a hint, to the architecture of how they've constructed this and what they needed to let go and not see and move away in order to pare it away, like creating a carving, just throw this other stuff away. Which, if you look at it as a lay person from the outside, you think, well, it's not adding up. It's not right, is it? It shouldn't be right that the police have acted in this way, Evans has acted in this way, the consultants have acted in this way, the whole justice system have acted in this way, knowing you've got someone he's given them more than 3 times the amount he originally gave them, which goes nowhere. And they're happy with that. They don't mind that. It doesn't give anybody pause, the fact he's done that. Not the police receiving it. They don't care. As long as they can get, that's what it's all about. As long as they can get Lucy Letby on the ones that they can get her for, because everybody's on the same page. All their ducks are in a row, so they think. But it's breaking down now, of course. And that's one of the, I believe, the instructive and important aspects of these groups of supplementary cases. And now we know that there are 2 lots of 25. It's even more incredible, as in not credible. He's not credible, Evans. We know that anyway. But this is demonstrating it. And it's demonstrating that the police don't care that he's not. Sorry, I'm getting excited. I'm not sorry. It's not. The police don't care that he's manifestly not credible, and that you can come up with welters of stuff that they can't use. And they don't care about it. And nobody in that system, in the CPS, the prosecutor, they don't care about that, as long as they can get Lucy Letby for those 15 that he's originally chosen, the vast majority of them. Well, they certainly bring them to trial. And that's been the purpose of going through this now, again. But what's been added, and thank you to Samantha for that, and thank you for Jabe's responses, and thank you for all the comments in the last video, because it's the judgment. It's the judgment which talks about the 28 cases. Link that up with Rachel Aviv's article, and then you've got the 25 selected from the 28, and that's where it comes from. And the date is where she says after the first arrest. Okay, not strictly necessarily 2018, but before the second arrest. Before the second arrest. And then the next batch is coming after the conviction, so that's something completely different. And that's the message I was trying to get across to Dr. Phil Hammond. Is he aware of that? How much more concerned might he be if explicitly he's linked up the idea that there are 2 reportings of Evans, of 25 extra cases, making a total of 50. So back to that article that Samantha found at ACL Moss in the comments of the last video. 82 is the total, and it all matches up very well and clearly, doesn't it? 82 cases. Well, not quite, not 100%, but you never expect anything in this situation to match up 100%, but it's a ballpark figure, it matches up. 32 cases in the original bundle from the police, from the hospital to the police to Evans, in the summer of 2017. 32. Call it 32. In the judgment, it says 33. You know, you've got this floating figure. Ballpark figure, 32. That leaves 50. It's not quite adding up, but it's near enough there. We've got 50 there so he's almost at 100%. This is it. This is it as well, isn't it? This is it as well. He sent 32 cases. 32, 33. and he chooses under half of them, 50% of them, 15, less than 40, whatever percent, mid-40s, mid to high 40s. Then the total we've been given in that article, if it's correct, I'm not saying it isn't, I'm not saying, in the Sarah Napton article that Samantha found there, that helped, that are linked, he's got another. He's got 50 left to play with, and he's used them all. Everything that he's been sent afterwards, he's found something wrong with. 100% almost. Albeit, caveat, we've got this disjunction between the judgment, which is saying you said 28 and he chose 25. Well, that's pretty near. It's not 100%. What is that? It's in the 90s, isn't it? It's in the 90s. And then apparently, because he's got this 82 grand figure, well, whatever he sent at whatever other period, when he sent it, I don't know, because that's not been made explicit. But we know, according to that article in the Telegraph, he sent it in September, post-conviction, September 2023, hasn't heard anything about it since. NFA'd, no further action from the police, no charges. He's chosen pretty much 100% of what he's been sent. Who has sent it to him? On what basis? Has it come directly from the hospital or through the police or via the police? Had he had it in the interim period? Possibly did. I think that's what it suggests in the Sarah Napton article, where it talks about 82 cases. He's been collecting cases to a total of 82. That's the story, isn't it? To a total of 82, out of which, this is it. Let's get down to some basic concept of this as an overall picture. He's been sent 82 cases. 82. Out of which he chose 15 out of the original bunch. Then he chose another 50. So that's 65 out of 82. 65. But only 15 ever go to only 15 ever get to go through the CPS and become a charge, Only 15. But he's chosen 65. Anyway, I'd end up just repeating everything I did. It's just bizarre, isn't it? For all the reasons you can possibly imagine, it's bizarre that he's thought to be, as found to be, has been judged to be or assessed to be credible in any way whatsoever. But the worst part of it is that worse than him even, well, as bad as him, thick as thieves, the police don't care that he can come up with 50 other stories of intended harm or suspicions of harm, and they can just drop it like it's nothing. Because they can get the 15 through. It's sick as you could possibly imagine. And there's worse to come. There's worse to come. The level of collusion here in the construction of this framing of an innocent person is off the scale. We'll never know the full extent of it, but you can feel it, you can sense it here, you can make these inferences because of these literal things that have happened. An expert that is meant to be trusted by the Court of Appeal as well. Those jokers saying he's credible. Goss accepting him as credible. The police happy for him just to throw everything at the wall, and what they can make, what the police can make stick, they'll make stick, and everything else slides down the wall. They don't care about, and they don't care about what that says about Evans. They're indifferent to it. Sorry if I've been a bit too hyper, but it is utterly staggering. And we're still scratching the surface, actually. Still scratching the surface. Thank you.